When did you hear about her? When did you learn about her? When is the first time you heard her name? We learned about Aaliyah because of R. Kelly. We learned who she was and her music because of R. Kelly. He produced her first album, wrote the songs, and appeared on some songs with her. And she had videos that included him. We heard of Aaliyah because of her attachment to R. Kelly. We knew that she was his protege. We knew that she was his artist he wrote and produced for, and essentially turned her into a star. So she became what every 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old girl wanted to be. She became their role model. She became their icon. She became the female they looked up to and wanted to emulate. And in some cases, they wanted to emulate every single thing that she did. Aaliyah was a singer, dancer, who started her career with R. Kelly. He made her first album. He produced it. He worked with her, taught her her style, taught her how to present herself. She was his protege. She became known to the world as Aaliyah because of R. Kelly. Then she went on to work with Timberland, Missy Elliott, Genuine, and from there, Jay-Z, Dame Dash associations. And she became a living legend. And at the time of her death, because she died young and beautiful, she became angelic. Every young female wanted that. And that's what they aspired to have. Get to R. Kelly, have him make you a star, and whatever you can get by being in a relationship, you get. And if it doesn't work out, you get a settlement of some sort. He became a target as a result of the fame and the popularity and the wealth that Aaliyah acquired from her association to him. People heard the rumors of the parents being okay with her relationship with Robert. People heard the rumors of the settlement. And so you had parents wanting to have that for their daughters. There were rumors of a relationship. There were rumors of marriage. There were rumors that she was coupled up with the R&B icon, R. Kelly. That became what young females wanted. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds. They wanted to be her. They wanted what she had. They wanted that lifestyle. And in some cases, the parents wanted that for their daughters too. So they patterned themselves after her. The Aaliyah Effect was everywhere. She was beautiful. She was talented. She was in movies. And young girls wanted that for themselves. And parents, in some cases, wanted that for their daughters. So you had parents trying to position their daughters to be in the same position that Aaliyah was in. All they had to do was get their daughters to the person that made her a star. And that's what they did. We've heard stories of people comparing their daughters to Aaliyah in the New York trial and in the Chicago trial. We're hearing stories of mothers telling their daughters, sit on his lap, rub his head, ask him to be your godfather, take that makeup off, fix your hair a little more youthful, dress younger. He doesn't want you older. He wants you younger. So look your age or younger. Don't try to look older. That came from mothers, aunts, fathers. They wanted for their daughters what they thought Aaliyah's life represented. Success. The Aaliyah Effect was everywhere. We have seen Aaliyah's impact on music. We have seen her impact on fashion. We've seen her impact on young females. And we're now seeing her impact in the courtroom, in the court case, with Jane Does who wanted the lifestyle that Aaliyah had. They wanted the fame that she had. And they were willing to do whatever they could to get where she was, which means a lot of them wanted to put themselves in front of R. Kelly and position themselves so that they could get what they believed Aaliyah had, which was fame, success, money, and a good life. The Aaliyah Effect in the New York trial, the Aaliyah Effect in the Chicago trial, was parents groomed their daughters, positioned their daughters to get what Aaliyah got, to have what Aaliyah had, which was fame, success, and money. And so they groomed their daughters to do what they believed Aaliyah did. That's what we saw in the case of Jane Doe 5 in New York. And we saw with Jane and Susan, her mother, which is Rashana and Val, in the Chicago case. I believe the mother told Rashana, sit on his lap, rub his head, and ask him to be your godfather. Because the days she was there, the days she was sitting talking to me, most of the time she was on the phone with her mother listening, as if she were being coached, as if she were being told what to do, how to behave, how to position herself. Aaliyah was 15 years old when she dropped her first album. She was in music videos. She went on to be in movies. And she was a very popular icon, singer, movie actress, in videos, modeling, doing all types of things. But most importantly, she was tied to some of the most prolific, spectacular producers in the business. First with R. Kelly, then with Timbaland and Missy Elliott and Genuine, and then with Jay-Z and Dame Dash. So she was what young girls wanted to be. Young females looked at her life, and that's what they aspired to. They saw she got to R. Kelly, and R. Kelly made her a star. And that became their pattern for females and their parents. Get you to R. Kelly, and he'll make you a star. And you do whatever we think Aaliyah did, and you'll get an album, you'll get movies, you'll have the fame and the fortune that Aaliyah had. These young females were groomed, but they were groomed by their parents. When Rashana stated her aunt, Sparkle, who had a sexual relationship with Robert, told her to sit on his lap, rub his head, and ask him to be your godfather, it was believable. It was believable to everyone except me. I believed that was done, but I believed it was her mother that told her to do that. Because when Rashana was at the house, I told you guys before in many videos, she was always on the telephone. And she was on the phone with her mother. How do I know that? Because she would hand me the phone and her mother would ask me for recipes and health tips and that sort of thing. But Roshana would be holding the phone to her ear for a very long period of time without saying anything. And oftentimes I would start talking to her because I didn't realize she was even on the phone. And I would look and see the phone up to her ear. And then I would think to myself, she's been on the phone all that time and she hasn't said a single word. Every instinct in me said her mother was giving her instructions. Her mother was grooming her. Her mother was instructing her on what to do and how to behave. My spidey senses just kicked in and said, her mother is telling her to do and say and behave in a way with R. Kelly that gets her career accelerated. It was just something instinctual that I didn't have any physical evidence. There was nothing that she said. There was nothing that she did. It was nothing more than her sitting at the counter with the phone up to her ear for what seemed like a long period of time, maybe even 15 minutes. And she didn't say a word. That meant her mother was doing all the talking. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out what in the world is her mother talking about. But just my gut instinct said her mother is giving her instructions. And when I have those instincts, it's usually spot on. Aaliyah's impact on music lasts even to this day. Her ties to R. Kelly are forever interwoven. And in her death, she was memorialized as angelic. And young females look up to her, they aspire to be her, and they want to emulate her. It's the Aaliyah Effect.